Things completely got out of hand in last week's riot, and now episode 6, it's all about containing the fallout and setting up the next move. In this video, I'll break down everything that happened in episode 6 and more importantly, what it means for the rest of the season. My name is Sasha, and this is my breakdown of For All Mankind Season 5, Episode 6. If you enjoy Apple TV breakdowns, recaps, and review, that's exactly what I do on this channel, so consider subscribing. Now, the episode 6 picks up with the situation fully out of control. The control room, including the governor, is now being held hostage by some of the protesters, led by Gerardo, whose goal is to stop the automation program. In the clinic, Alex appears to be fine after the blow to his head, while Lily is asleep recovering from a concussion. Gerardo announces over the comms that they've taken control of Moxie, are holding the governor and the Moxie staff hostage, have stopped all shipments, and refuse to be sent back to Earth. Hearing this, Miles heads towards the control room to try and prevent things from getting even worse, but he's stopped and arrested by MPKs still loyal to Palmer. Boyd steps in, takes over the arrest, but once away with Miles, she removes his cuffs. Miles convinces her to go to Moxie and help de-escalate the situation. Up in the control room, Boyd reviews Palmer's ID scans and realizes that Palmer and his MPKs are retrieving weapons from multiple stockpiles across the base. Miles convinces her they need to reach those weapons first, otherwise the protesters don't stand a chance and everything goes back to the way it was. He pleads that Palmer and the governor can never run the base again after what they did at the protest. Boyd and Miles head towards one of these stockpiles, but it was already emptied. In the nearby MPK office, they find and recruit 3 MPKs to join their side. On Earth, an evening after training, Avery reveals to one of her friends in the unit that her real name is actually Stevens. She's the daughter of D. Danny Stevens and the granddaughter of D. Gordo and Tracy Stevens. At Helios, Alida and Dev are sheltering in place, but they are getting restless as they know some of their employees are among the hostages and communication with the Sojourner Titan mission is cut off. They get their security details to escort them out, and at one point they split up, with Dev heading to the medbay while Alida insists on going to Moxie. Outside Moxie, Alida is allowed in by the protesters, but only alone. With help from Miles, who made his way back to Moxie, she manages to convince Gerardo to untie the hostages and restore communication with the Sojourner ship, updating them on the situation at Happy Valley. Boyd and the MPKs secure weapons from one of the armories, but instead of handing them over, she hides them. Back in Moxie, she insists that she wants a proper plan before putting more weapons into play. That's when Miles points out their biggest leverage, Iridium. If they stop shipment to Earth, they can force the M6 to negotiate. Using the governor, they record a message outlining their demands and send it back to Earth. Meanwhile, on his way to the medbay, Dev is recognized by residents and brutally attacked. He eventually makes it back to Helios and orders security to lock the doors. The episode ends with a response from Earth. The US president, speaking for the M6, refuses to negotiate, calling them terrorists and announcing an embargo off Mars, saying that all supply and aid shipments to Mars will be cut off until the hostages are released and the Iridium shipments resumed. At first, it might feel like not much happened in this episode, but really, this was all about repositioning the board for what's coming next. Let's start with the biggest development. The M6 embargo on Mars. We already know that Happy Valley isn't self-sufficient, so the real question is how long can they survive without resupply? And more importantly, can they outlast Earth's own dependence on iridium? The wild card here might be the Isen base. There's a real possibility that the Isen nation steps in, even temporarily, to support Happy Valley and shifts the balance. One thing is clear, this stand-up could last weeks, if not longer. But that creates another problem. Gerardo and the protesters can't realistically hold hostages in Moxie forever. At some point, Happy Valley has to settle into a new normal. And we can definitely count Palmer and his MPKs out. They've regrouped, rearmed, and are likely planning their next move. Finally, there's Dev. Why was he so determined to see Alex in Medbay that he was actually willing to risk his own life? And what exactly did he mean by lock the doors? Really, I can't wait to see. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe, it's greatly appreciated. I'll see you next week for the episode 7 breakdown. Ciao.